Now, hospitals across Gaza face an alarming crisis. They are perilously close to running out of generator fuel. The United Nations Humanitarian Office issued a dire warning stating that reserves of fuel in these hospitals are expected to last for only approximately 24 more hours.
Civilian infrastructure, hospitals, classic case, and the health system, of course, in Gaza generally, but in the north in particular, is collapsing before our very eyes. Water supplies are cut, stocks are pretty well out in most of these hospitals. These are civilian infrastructures, and they also are protected by international humanitarian law from attack. They must not be attacked. They must be places of safety.
The scarcity of generator fuel in Gaza's hospitals is more than a logistical challenge. It's in fact a matter of life and death. According to OCHA, if the backup generators were to shut down, thousands of patients would be left in dire straits with limited access to essential medical care. Among these patients are children and adults with severe injuries, and their survival hinges on the availability of continuous electricity. This crisis comes amidst an already dire humanitarian situation in Gaza.
Well, this morning we took some of our surgical sets from last night. We finished operating at 2 o'clock to the central sterilization room at Shifa Hospital, and we were told that the machines are no longer working because the water pressure now has dropped to the point where they can't function. And we were given gallons of what's called Sidex, which is a kind of 1970s, 1980s antiseptic solution that used to be used for sterilizing medical equipment for reuse. So it's falling apart in every kind of junction in the system.
Devastation, despair, and death have taken over the Gaza Strip. The ongoing conflict has already exacted a heavy toll on both sides. More than 2,600 are already dead. To make matters worse, tens of thousands of Palestinians are attempting to flee the crippling airstrikes and an Israeli ground offensive. Israeli airstrikes have pummeled countless neighborhoods across the Strip as civilians flee for their lives. People are in search of their loved ones, lost, injured, or dead in the airstrikes. Survivors looked on as heavy excavators tried to reach bodies of a family that was caught in the rubble. After an Israeli airstrike hit without issuing any warning in the central Gaza Strip, visuals show people trying to pull these bodies out from the rubble. Now, according to the spokesperson for the Palestinian Health Ministry, casualties in Gaza over the past 9 days have surpassed the number of those killed during the 51-day Gaza-Israel conflict in 2014. Richard Brennan, a World Health Organization official in Cairo, told CNN that 60% of those killed in Gaza in last week were women and children. Meanwhile, as the situation deteriorates in the region, aid is being provided to Palestinians. In a statement in the British Parliament, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said that the government is increasing its aid to the Palestinian people by a third, with $12.18 million more in support.
The terrible nature of these attacks. I'm proud that we are a long-standing and significant provider of humanitarian aid to the Palestinian people. And I can announce today that we are increasing our aid by a third with an additional £10 million of support. An acute humanitarian crisis is unfolding to which we must respond. We must support the Palestinian people because they are victims of Hamas too.